Hezekiah became king at the age of 25 years, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Abijah, the daughter of Zechariah. He did what was proper in the eyes of the Lord, as all that his father David had done. He, in the first year of his reign, in the first month, opened the doors of the house of the Lord and reinforced them. And he brought the priests and the Levites and gathered them into the eastern square, and he said to them, "Hear me, ye Levites. Now sanctify yourselves and sanctify the house of the Lord, the God of your fathers, and remove the menstruant from the sanctuary. For our fathers acted treacherously and did evil in the eyes of the Lord our God, and forsook him. And they turned their faces away from the tabernacle of the Lord and turned their backs. Moreover, they closed the doors of the vestibule and extinguished the lamps, and they did not burn incense nor offer up burnt offerings in the sanctuary to the God of Israel. The anger of the Lord was against Judah and Jerusalem, and he made them for a shudder and astonishment and a hissing, as you see with your own eyes. And behold, our fathers have fallen by the sword, and our sons and our daughters and our wives are in captivity because of this. Now it is with my heart to make a covenant with the Lord, the God of Israel, so that his burning wrath should turn from us. My sons, now do not forget, for the Lord chose you to stand before him, to minister to him, and to be his ministers, and to burn incense." Then there arose the Levites, Mahath the son of Amasai, and Joel the son of Azariah, and the sons of Kehathites, and the sons of Merari, Kish the son of Abdi, and Azariah the son of Jehalelel, and the Gershonites, Joah the son of Zimmah, and Eden the son of Joah, and the sons of Elizaphan, Shimri, and Jeiel, and the sons of Asaph, Zechariah, and Mattaniah, and the sons of Heman, Jehiel, and Shimei, and the sons of Jeduthun, Shemaiah, and Uzziel. And they assembled their brethren and sanctified themselves, and they came according to the commandment of the king concerning the matters of the Lord, to purify the house of the Lord. And the priests came within the house of the Lord to purify it, and they took out all the uncleanness that they found in the temple of the Lord to the court to the house of the Lord, and the Levites received it to take it out to the Kidron valley outside. They commenced on the first of the first month to sanctify it. On the 8th day of the month they came to the vestibule of the Lord, and they sanctified the house of the Lord for 8 days, and on the 16th day on the first month they finished. And they came within to King Hezekiah, and they said, "We have purified the entire house of the Lord, the burnt offerings altar, and all the vessels, and the table of showbread, and all its vessels, and all the vessels that King Ahaz forsook. During his reign and his treachery we have prepared and sanctified, and here they are before the altar of the Lord." And King Hezekiah rose early and gathered the officers of the city and went up to the house of the Lord. And they brought 7 bulls and 7 rams and 7 lambs and 7 kids for sin offerings for the kingdom and for the sanctuary and for Judah. And he said to the sons of Aaron, the priests, to offer them up on the altar of the Lord. And they slaughtered the cattle, and the priests received the blood, and they sprinkled it upon the altar, and they slaughtered the rams and sprinkled the blood upon the altar, and they slaughtered the lambs and sprinkled the blood upon the altar. And they brought the kids for sin offerings before the king and the congregation, and they placed their hands upon them. And the priests slaughtered them and sprinkled their blood upon the altar to atone for all Israel, because for all Israel the king said to offer the burnt offerings and the sin offerings. And he stationed the Levites in the house of the Lord with cymbals, with psalteries, with harps, by the commandment of David and Gad the king's seer, and Nathan the prophet, the king's seer, and Nathan the prophet, for by the hand of the Lord was the commandment by the hand of his prophets. And the Levites stood with David's instruments, and the priests with the trumpets. Hezekiah said to bring up the burnt offerings to the altar, and at that time that the burnt offerings commenced, the song of the Lord and the trumpets commenced, and by means of the instruments of David, king of Israel. The entire congregation prostrated themselves, and the song was sung, and the trumpets were sounded. Everything continued until the completion of the burnt offerings. And when they finished offering them up, the king and all those found with him kneeled and prostrated themselves. And King Hezekiah and the officer ordered the Levites to praise the Lord with the words of David and Asaph the seer, and they praised until they were joyful, and they bowed and prostrated themselves. And Hezekiah answered and said, now you have invested yourself to the Lord. Come, close, and bring peace offerings and thanksgiving offerings to the house of the Lord. The congregation brought peace offerings and thanksgiving offerings, and every generous-hearted one burnt offerings. And the number of the burnt offerings in the congregation brought was 70 oxen, 100 rams, 200 lambs. All these were burnt offerings to the Lord, and the sacred offerings were 600 large cattle and 3,000 small cattle. Only the priests were few, and they could not flay all the burnt offerings, so their brethren the Levites reinforced them until the work was completed, and till the priests consecrated themselves, for the Levites were more conscientious than the priests to consecrate themselves. And also there were many burnt offerings with the fats of peace offerings, and with the libations for the burnt offerings, and the service of the house of the Lord was established. Hezekiah and all the people rejoiced over that which God had prepared for the peace for the people, because the matter was sudden.